But go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like, and what you didn't say is when you finally said something, then there was a level of understanding on my part because I
Hmm.
just didn't know. And that's one of my kind of quirks or whatever when it comes to relationship. It's not that like I'll have an expectation, but if you explain to me, or I'm more than willing to have an understanding. But if I don't know what's going on, then I'm like that. Then I'm concerned. And what I was used to was us communicating often, and so for it to just shut down all of a sudden, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, and that, especially with if it's someone that I care about, that to me doesn't settle well because it's like, first of all, I'm one of those fixers anyway, so I want to fix it if it's possible. But there are some things that you just can't fix, and I think what I have learned over time is a level of communication, and also, like I said before, is allowing each other to grow in the relationship, not only the relationship to grow, but allowing each other to grow because we're not always going to get it right. So there's a level of forgiveness too. But in that scenario, it taught me something about myself. So it wasn't just like you had these default settings and that was interrupting the relationship. I had to, once you explained to me, that made me think like, well, you don't always know what's going on with someone. So I had to check myself too. So it wasn't that either one of us was right or wrong. It was a relationship worth holding on to and a relationship worth communicating to each other so that we can come to a understanding. And after that, once you explain that to me, then I understand your process so I can flow in your process, but you also understand mine. And we learn how to meet each other where we needed to meet each other within the relationship to keep it going, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. And you have to be at a place of maturity to be willing to go through that.
Yeah.
So your relationships are going to evolve based on your level of maturity spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so that's what this challenge is going to assist you in working through your level of maturity. Like these stories, this story right here may be, oh yeah, that's cool, but we had to be at a certain level of maturity to even address it. And we have to be at a certain level of maturity to have this conversation in an open dialogue. Like
Mhm.
it easily could have been like Posh could have been back messaging me like, "Nah, girl, I ain't talking about that. Let's move on to something else. Go on to Leslie. Go to somebody." But that's not what this is because we're mature enough to say this is what it is, and that's where if you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, you should not be treating any relationship in your life the way that you were treating it in your teens and in your 20s and in your 30s.
Hmm.
So that's what this relationship challenge is about. It's going to challenge you to see where you are as it relates to your maturity level. I should not be understanding or looking at things when I am working with my young adult children. We should not be seeing eye to eye on things. We should not, you can have an understanding, but you should have a higher perspective so that you can carry them higher. So that is what this relationship work is about, is helping you. Honey, this challenge, I will not be seeing eye to eye with you. I will have understanding, but my responsibility is to take you higher. Is to help you to mature. And so the next person I've got, it's like a hot seat type of thing. This is fun. So I think let's see, let's go to Miss Leslie. So Miss Leslie and I, we have a relationship. Our relationship is unique in that we met through the community work that we do. And in that work, like there are people that you have the opportunity to grow with. Like Pasha and I, we had the opportunity to grow because we had time to kind of build our relationship. We met in person through a lot of conversations, a lot of dialogue, a lot of kind of being in each other's space and knowing how you can learn a lot from people by visiting their homes and seeing how they move with people. So being around Posh, I was able to kind of see how she moved. Like you can tell a lot by people by how the way they treat people, not by the way they necessarily treat you. Because if you're hanging out with somebody, you're gonna put on your best foot forward. Like this is my friend. I want to hang out. I want to do this, but just to watch her move throughout the community and how I was like, okay, she's a solid person. And then my husband is my gauge as well. So if my husband likes you, you in. So I didn't have to do a whole lot of like, cause he's tough. Like he is tough. Like, oh, you gonna hang out with them? You gonna so you get the thumbs up from Mike. That's totally different. Now, Miss Leslie, the relationship. This is why our relationship is so special to me, because our relationship was more of a test the spirit by the spirit kind of relationship. So when you are in that type of relationship and you have never, air quote, met the person, you have never been in their environment, you have never been in their space to see how they treat other people, you have to allow God to guide you through that process. And that relationship, and see, you've got to have enough of a relationship with God to be able to know that your spirit is in alignment. And so Miss Leslie and I, we can have some real good conversations without hurting each other's feelings, because we know that we coming from the spirit. Like she can say stuff to me. She can say stuff. No, I don't agree with that. I'm like, oh my God, like she will speak her mind. She will say what she needs to say,
Me?
but she's saying it in spirit and truth. She's saying it in love. She's saying it in a way that you know that you're in good hands because of the relationship that she has with God. And so I want you to speak a little bit to that, Miss Leslie, about how our relationship and just, how you've come into relationship with me. I trust Miss Leslie with anything. I talk to Miss Leslie about family stuff. I talk things that are near and dear to my heart that I don't share with people. And because over the years we've become connected like that, I feel secure enough to share some of my innermost scenarios. But that comes from that spiritual relationship. So I don't know if you feel the same way about me, but that's my relationship with you.
Well, I call you my mentor anyway. So, from that aspect, and I think about it, and I was looking up the word relationship just to kind of get an idea. And when I was looking it up, it was like the father said, "You're going to speak from my perspective," and here you come talking about from his perspective. Now, I was just being me when I came in, and I enjoyed the community. Well, let me start here, because before I joined the community, Renee Jackson said, "Leslie, I seen something. You should get on it." And I got on it. And Alicia's sitting in a chair with her hat on, talking about at that time AJ 365, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's nice," And I watched it for a while before I even came to be a part of it, never knowing that I would ever really get to know you, never even thinking about the fact that I would be in a relationship with you, other than just to be on the 5 a.m. to hear what you had to say. And I can say that being in relationship with you and being connected to God, which I call Elohim, um, has been very valuable, very powerful. And just like you said that you trust me, I trust you that way. And so when I say she calls me, and I'm like, what's she calling me for? It's not. It's not that I don't know her, but I don't know what's gonna come out of her mouth. I don't know which way she coming, because sometimes she sidetracked me. When she called me about being a part of prayer group, I was like, oh, okay, not knowing that I was gonna really be responsible for the group.
Got her.
Yeah, and she gets me a lot. Like today when she called, I was like, yeah, what's up? Because Alicia's mind is always going. And she's always going, she's always thinking, she always got a plan. And if you're not listening carefully, you'll be in that plan and wondering, how did I get here? But she is a person that I treasure, and she's very valuable to me. Not just her, but her and Mike. But I appreciate the fact that she embraced me, that she embraced me. She trusted God in me to be a part of her life. That to me speaks volumes. When I came on this morning, I was like, wow, I made it this far, looking at the ones that's on here. I was like, oh wow, I made it this far. But no, our relationship, Alicia, is a relationship that is entwined because of God and the relationship that we have with Him. And because of the relationship that we have with Him, we can't have a relationship if we don't have a relationship with Him. We wouldn't know how. So it takes Him molding and shaping us, that, and He knew we would be here. He knew that He was going to bring us together. But at that time, we didn't know. But now that we're here, He's still growing and maturing. When I sit on the 5 a.m. call, I'm like amazed to hear you talk and the things you talk about. And then some things I'm like, oh, I've been through that too. I know exactly what you're talking about. But just to see the movement of God through it, the 5 a.m. is not just a call. It is truly a relationship. And we see Him intertwining in our lives because of your relationship with God. So I value and I treasure that as much. Like when we came to your house and we went out to eat and just had a good time. And I'm saying this because of Pa, she always telling us, ain't nobody gonna be in my bedroom, so don't y'all be going over there thinking y'all spending the night. So, but when we have those treasured moments, it's very valuable to me. I feel like I'm with Alicia. That's how I feel. I feel really honored anytime I'm in your presence. Anytime I do get to talk to you on the phone, and we always have conversations, but we always have the same mindset, and I like that.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just this work for me is just such a powerful testimony as to how God moves. I didn't, prior to this community, prior to all of this, I didn't have solid relationships. I didn't have solid, I always felt like I had to watch my back. And it scares me, especially in this society when people teach, you got to watch out for your haters. You got to watch out for this. You got to watch out for that. If you're building a life that you are concerned about the people that are surrounding you, then you need to rebuild. You need to rebuild because at some point you have to be mature enough to know who you have in your life. Like at this age, I don't have the energy or the capacity to be worried about people stabbing me in the back. And this is why, but this is the other thing. You got to move slow and steady. See, most people try to build so quickly that they negate all of the deep work, and they're trying to build friendships and relationships at the end. I always teach relationships over funnels. Relationships over funnels. The world will teach you build a funnel, get people in there, and then you figure it out. That's too late then, baby. It's too late. But if you take the time and you build the relationships, then you can put those relationships in the funnel because you know that that funnel will take care of them. Like it will give them everything that they need. And so what that looks like from a business perspective is that we have the relationships, we have those things, but now the funnel is that you get the journal challenge, you get this email, you get this, you get that, but you know in the beginning that it's coming from a real person. It's coming from a real person with a real heart. I don't mind getting text messages and emails when I have a relationship with this person. Okay, I know she sent me this. Oh, this is this, but I can always connect to her. There's a difference there. And so for those of you who are just connecting with us, those of you who will catch the replay, I am Alicia Johnson, the creator of the 1212 community, and we are here talking about our next journal, 30-day journal challenge, which will be on relationships. This ain't your mama's relationship journal, okay? This is not going to be, oh, I know. If you come into this live or this session here, you like, oh, I understand relationships. You do not. You do not. Because this is new to me. I've done these so many times, and each challenge is new because every time they're new, every time you enter into something and you've done the work previously, you're entering in new. So I don't care how many times you've done something. If you've done the work properly, then you've shed the old and now you're entering into it new. So this relationship challenge is a new thing. So for those of you who want to learn more and join us, please feel free to text relationship, no S, relationship to 301-301-8838. Text relationship to 301-301-8838, and you will receive the information that you need to register. The cost is minimal based on the power that you will receive. Honey, at the end of these challenges, people are like, honey, the value of this, I can't even put a price tag on it. I don't even know what to say. So you owe it to yourself. If you're on planet Earth, you have a relationship. If you are breathing, you have a relationship. Well, I don't have that many people in my life. Well, you have a bank account. You have a relationship with your money. You have a relationship with technology, which I was struggling and am struggling today with my relationship with technology. You have a relationship with your car. You have a relationship with the food that you eat. Anything that you touch, you are in relationship with. So don't come to me saying that, oh, I don't have any real relationship. Yes, you do. If your money is funny, then you have a strange relationship with your finances. If you have like health issues and you have digestive problems, you have a relationship with that food, you have a relationship. And see, this I learned, this ain't something that somebody had to teach me. This is something I know. When you live through it and you go through it, you understand it from a whole nother level. My relationship, for example, with like food, this is why Mike and we laugh a lot. And a lot of times, and I know Tiffany is on here, and Tiffany, they do the health thing, and I get it and I understand, but honey, for me, Tiffany, close your ears. This is just for me and the other people on here, any health conscious people on here. If you eat, enjoy, and you have a good relationship with that food, it's gonna go down okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. If you have a bad relationship with your food, you can eat all the greens, all of the clean eating that you want, and you mean as a snake, and you chopping your food up, and you angry with your food, and you got a poor relationship with this, and these greens were too high, this food is just too honey, you gonna have all the indigestion in the world. But if you take some chicken wings and you fry them wings up with some love and some compassion, and you chew and you enjoy. I'm hungry, so these are my analogies again. I still ain't ate real good since that first call, Miss Leslie. But if you feel that you have a good relationship with that thing, that's just me. That's just me. That's not my lane. That's not my lane. Tiffany and Rick, that's their lane. I'm just telling you how I roll over here, okay? You got to be in good relationship with everything that you do. So your relationships matter. Okay, you can unplug your ears now. You tell Rick to get up off the floor. I know y'all just had, oh, Lord, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So since I messed with Tiffany.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I just want everyone to know that when you come into these 5 a.m. sessions, that what she gives you is hot off the press. If you
Okay.
ask her what she said, by the end of the call, she doesn't know. So I want you to know that you're not just coming in to hear her talk. What you're going to get is hot off the press from heaven. I just wanted to add that.
Mm. And that is true. That is true. I have no idea. It's all spirit led. I promise you that. There are no, honey, we have recordings from every challenge we've done. If you match the days up, no two are the same. No two are the same because I am totally different, a totally different person than I was when we started. So, yes, hot off the press. Fresh downloads every morning, fresh manna every morning. Now, Miss Tiffany.
I'm over here laughing because I said, see, now everybody gonna have to come to us. They keep sitting over there cooking with their lard and
I'm setting y'all up real sweet. Y'all going up. But you know what? They're gonna have a happy 50 pounds on them. They're gonna be happy. They're gonna be happy with that weight. They're gonna be like, you know what? I know I gained a few pounds, but I'm happy. I'm happy. So I'm setting y'all up real good. I'm setting y'all up real good.
you want to know what though, Alicia? You was just talking about whatever you do. Like my relationship with cooking, it was off the chain because I hated it. Like I loathed it. Like I just didn't like it. And what I what I noticed, so I would listen to you, say, yeah, cook with love and all of the things. And I was like, so I would be in the kitchen just banging stuff around because I did not want to be in there. And it's kind of funny because plus I had to change my words of what I was saying about how much I hated it, right? To the point like I would probably say like the last 6 months I've been in. So normally Rick is the one in the kitchen cooking. So the last 6 months I have been, in the kitchen, and I almost want to say I love being in the kitchen now. I mean, I don't want to say that too. Shoot, Rick is on here and I think he heard that. But it's a lot better because I had to shift my mindset with my relationship with cooking, and what that looked like for me was really going back and basically going back to the reason why I hated cooking altogether. Um so that was very important for me to share as
I
well.
love it. I love it. I love it. And since Tiff is in the hot seat right now, so our relationship now it's funny, like Pasha and I, we had the opportunity to kind of get to know each other. Leslie and I, it's a spiritual, test the spirit by the spirit. Tiffany is just funny. Tiffany and Rick, like, you know how you are around people and you just want to be around them because they just fun like that. That's like our connection. Like when I first met Tiffany, it was her smile. Like you see Tiffany smile and it just kind of sucks you in. Like and you could be like as sad as you want to be, and then she'll smile, and then it's like everything's gonna be all right in the world. But when you connect with people in the way that God needs you to connect with people. And I connected with Tiffany through laughter. Like Tiffany, I mean, I don't care what it is. I can always bank on, on Tiffany making it funny. And that's how I know Tiff is here today, but that's how she and Rick, they play off of each other so well. And that's how Mike and I kind of connected to them. Like we just be like, they good people. Like they just fun. Like if they invite us somewhere or we want to do, it's just like we know we're gonna have fun. Like that's the type of relationship where Mike and I, we don't even have to discuss. You know, sometimes people invite you to stuff and you be like, you want to go? I don't know if I want to go. Well, let me know. If you don't want to go, then I'll just say, put it on me. You know how you play as a couple, like, no, she can't make it. No, but like with Tiff and Rick, it's like, okay, where we going? That's how, and if we can't go, then it's like literally a life or death situation. Like the one time they invited us to something, we could go. We were literally in the emergency room. That was the only reason we couldn't go. Like otherwise, we would have been there. That's the kind of relationship that you realize is heaven sent, where you don't have to pretend that you don't want to be there, or I mean, you don't have to pretend that you want to be there. And oh shoot, I wish I could. And so for Mike and I think that this whole panel speaks volumes to how much God has grown Mike and me and Mike, because prior to and I think this will help a lot of married couples. This is from my perspective. This is what I've grown to know. This is how we operate in the Johnson household. How you operate, that's your business. But what I have come to learn over the course of time, through marriage problems, through all of those things, if Mike and I cannot be your friend, we cannot be friends. If me and my husband cannot both be your friend, then we cannot be friends. There is no, this is Mike's friend, this is Alicia's friend. Because see, that's where problems arise. So I have to love you as much as Mike loves you. And Mike has to love you as much as I. And that's how we roll. And when you get the opportunity to match up with other couples that feel the same, honey, that's golden. And so that's how Tiffany and Rick and, we connected, because it's God ordained. That's the bottom line. So Tiff, what's your take on it? Tiff may be like, I really don't like this. Like, Rick, she texted Rick right now. Rick, I don't even know how to respond to this. It's on you, Tiff.
I'm in total agreement. It's really funny because I hear you tell many of your stories, and I was like, oh my God, like she's my twin. You are literally my twin. A lot of life experiences, all of the things. But I love how you're my twin. And like Rick is like the more calmer one. And like Mike, Mike is the more calmer one for you as well. And we just vibe. Like we have an amazing time with you guys. It's very easy. It's very, very easy, and it's fun. A lot of fun is going to be had. So one of our values, like fun, is in our top 5. And we have just been growing by leaps and bounds. Just even knowing both of you guys, just
I love it.
I don't know what
I
else
love
to
it.
say.
No,
But
I know Tiff and I
amazing.
drive Mike crazy. When the
Same here
last
with
event,
Rick.
that marriage retreat, I'm literally, the chairs are so big, there was like a high chair, right? I'm about to fall out the chair, like I'm sliding under the table. Like it was so funny. Like you need friends in your life that gonna make you like, it's just funny. Like your stomach hurts when you're done. Like my ribs were hurting when I was done. So, I'm just so grateful for that. So thank you, Tiffany. But you need relationships that bring you extreme joy. You need relationships that challenge you. You need relationships that help you to test yourself spiritually. So each one of these ladies brings something unique to every relationship of my life, and each and every aspect is valuable. And so you need to have relationships in your life that reflect spiritually, mentally, and physically the truth of who you are. So that is, the overarching view of the relationship challenge. So we're not going to keep you long, but last but not least is Cynthia. Oh my, she's like, oh, we can keep moving. We don't have to. So I love it. And so we're having this conversation to give you just an overview of what direction we'll be moving in with the relationship challenge. to explore. And today, look at your relationships with your money, your relationships with everything that you touch. And if you have any relationships that are a little janky or a little, like I'm questioning this, then you need to be on this call. You need to be with us. And then people like 5 a.m. in the morning. If you can't make the 5 a.m., it behooves you greatly to be on the 5 a.m. because that's a whole nother level of connecting with heaven first. But the recordings are always there. The community is there. So we have our own private relationship community that you will be in for the 30-day process. You can get your questions answered. You can get the recordings and all of those things. So if you're looking for a community, to be able to work out these things in the secret place without everybody in your business, then this is the place where you want to be. We do it in spirit and truth. And most of all, it's a no judgment zone. You do not, what they say, if there's no judgment. And if I get a hint of judgment, if I get a hint of you out, what they say in a New York second, you out so fast, it ain't even funny. I ain't gonna even ask too many questions, because that is not what this community is about. It's about being able to come in and to be able to heal in spirit and in truth, and most of all in love. So now, speaking about love and spirit and truth, Cynthia. Now, our relationship is a combination of all three of these ladies all together. Cynthia and I, we cover it spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I love our relationship because our relationship helped me to see how much I have grown. Because Cynthia, we've shared this story before, and she tells her version of the story, and I tell my version of the story. But Cynthia did not like me in the beginning. Like, she did not like me in the beginning. And for me, that was huge, because I would never really be in a relationship with somebody who said they didn't like me. Like, okay, big deal. But God allowed me in that instance it was funny to me. Like when she told me, like, I didn't like you. And now I was like, well, oh, poor little thing. She just don't know me yet. That was how I was, just because she taught me how much I had grown. She taught me how much who God had created me to be had been solidified, where whether or not you like me is not my concern. I still have work to do. I still have to say the things that I have to say. And I think that that's kind of what solidified our relationship, is that I still did what I needed to do, regardless of how she felt about me. And over the time, I knew it when I said she just didn't know me. Now that she knows me, she loves me. Like, it works out. It was like, she just needs to get to know me. But she can tell her side of the story. But that's my side of the story. The only reason she didn't like me was because she didn't know me. But when she got to know me, she just loves me. And Dom loves me. And I love Dom. I really think that God put Cynthia in my life so that I could connect with Dom. I love Dom. Dom, her husband can do no wrong. She'll try to call me and say, Dom, let me know what he do. No. So anyway, Cynthia, so share what your version is of our relationship.
If I want to vent about my husband, she is not the person I call. She is not the person. Because he walks on water as far as she's concerned. So as soon as I figured that out, I was like, it's not the relationship to have. No, your version is pretty correct. I mean, I said, and I've said it before, you gave me the EBGBs when I first met you. But I think that whoever's watching this, right, whoever comes across this video, at the beginning, it can feel, depending on where you're at in life, it can feel like EBGBs, right? It can feel like it's making you uncomfortable. It's giving you this weird pit feeling in your stomach. You don't know if this works for you. You don't know why this came across your timeline. You don't know why someone's inviting you to do this. And I happened to be in another community, and it was like a women's call. And I was one of the people, that was like helping run the women's call, or they wanted me to help, run the women's call. And they were like, well, we have a guest speaker for this coming call. And I'm like, okay. And they say, Alicia. And when I'm like, all right. So she starts talking and I'm like, nope. Mm-mm. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not why I came into this community. And so after the call was said and done, like, I threatened to leave the group because I was like, I just can't, like, there's something about this lady. Like, I don't understand what it is. The message she gave, it just gave me this weird feeling. And I didn't know what to do with it. And then one day it was like, well, tell her you don't like her. And I'm pretty transparent. What you see is what you get. I'm a straight shooter. So I was like, okay, I'll tell her I don't like her. And so I did. I contacted her and I was like, I need to talk to you. But I don't know why, because I don't necessarily like you. Like, you gave me the EBGBs when I heard you talk. And she was like, oh, really? Is that so? And she didn't have like really anything negative to say back to me. But I remember her saying, well, when she heard me talk or she saw me on the call, she was like, the only word that came to her was balance. And it's interesting, all those years ago, as we've gone through this journey together, as I've worked with her, I came into her community, I started following her, I started to care about her, then I started to love her and her family. And ironically, I'm sure like most of the women on this call, I met her through her husband because I was actually like buddies with her husband in the group. And me and him would do like these exercises and we get together on Zoom and we'd have these discussions and conversations. And I thought he was just, awesome. Like, she thinks my husband's awesome. But then I was like, yo, I don't know about your wife though. Like, your wife's kind of, I was like, she kind of gives me the EBGB. He was like, okay. But I came across her in the group and then I found out she was his wife and, we became friends and everything. Anyways, long story short, she had said that the word balance had came to her when she was talking to me and when she had came across me. And it's interesting because as we've gone through this journey together, she's now in her year of balance. And I'm in my year cycle 9, year of closure. And it's funny because it's kind of like we're wrapping up and tying up all those loose ends of just little strings. I kind of think of it as like a blanket and you fray the edges, right? Or you fray the edges of the jean and you get all these little strings, right? And like the satisfaction of cutting those strings, right? The satisfaction of cleaning up a garment, the satisfaction of burning those edges. It gives you closure. It helps you to tie up the loose ends, but we're in her year of balance. And it's interesting how we're finding our sync. We're finding our flow. We're finding that even keel in our relationship, in the business, in the community, the 4 of us together, the spouses, the families. So I love seeing it, kind of come full circle in this 9 year, in this chapter, with all that to say, pay attention to the relationships you have in your life, because I think when we think of relationships, we expect them to start out wonderful. We expect them to start out without any bumps in the road. And when there are bumps, when there are creases, when there are cracks at the beginning of something, immediately you throw it away, right? Immediately you say, it's not for me. Immediately you say, oh, it's not worth it. It's not worth the struggle, or it's not worth the work. If we hadn't worked through our differences, if we hadn't pushed through that uncomfortable state of our relationship, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And, I've had disagreements with other women on this call. All of us have. I've had feelings of, do I belong? Do I not belong? Do they like me? Do they not like me? Do we click? Do we not click? Because we're all human. We're all looking for that connection. But what's wonderful is that, like she said, in this community, there is no judgment. There is no room for belittling. There is no room for feeling like you're better than someone or cowering and thinking you're less than someone. There's just love. That's all there is. There's just love. There's acceptance. And if you decide to do this relationship challenge, which I highly suggest you do, it's not just your relationship with someone else. It's your relationship with that feeling of uncomfortableness when growth comes knocking on your door. It's your relationship with feeling like you're less than. It's your relationship with growth and with being able to stretch yourself past your comfort zone. Um, so know that relationships that start off rocky can be and sometimes are the best relationships you have in your life. The relationships where you feel like you don't click with someone right away, maybe that's heaven teaching you that you're going to have to stretch yourself just a little bit to get the gift on the other end of this journey. I think that's what it's done for me. And in numerous relationships that I've had, especially in this community, it's like no other. And when you take time to go through how you connect on your side of the relationship, when you take full responsibility for how you respond to blame, how you respond to inconsistency, how you respond to lies, how you respond to the truth being told to you, it's going to have this domino effect on all your other relationships in your life. And you're going to start to see the diamonds in the rough, I think, that surround you in your life. Real quick before I end my side of it, this epiphany came to me last night, and I wanted to share it with Alicia today in our meeting. And so I'm going to share it with all of you. I'm a Life Path 1. And if you don't know any information about that, you can hit me up. I'm her assistant. I'll talk to you about what Life Path means, the year cycle means. You'll hear us talk about it on lives a lot. So if you don't know, I can help you figure it out. But I'm a Life Path 1. And I've been having a relationship this past month, a volatile relationship with consistency. And I kept sitting there thinking, like, why am I so upset when someone's not consistent? Why am I so upset when something's not consistent? Why am I so upset with, why can't I get a routine consistent, or this and that and the other? And a relationship with blame. And last week's assignment was talking about blame and how I need to really look at, why do I blame others and where does the blame fall? And I heard it clear as day last night. Clear as day. I'm sitting there upset about inconsistency with people, things, situations. And I'm like, but I don't understand. Why can't someone just do this, that, and the other? Why can't this, that, and the other just happen? And I heard it say, I heard heaven, God, a voice say, but my dear, you're a Life Path 1. What is a Life Path 1? A leader. I made you a leader. So if you're upset with someone else not being consistent, then the question is, why aren't you being consistent? Because you have to lead someone else. You're expecting others to lead you. You're waiting for your husband to be consistent in a routine so that you can follow him. I didn't create you as a follower. I created you as a leader. Your husband's relationship to you is not to lead you because he's a different life path. He's a communicator. He can communicate things to you, but it's not his job to lead you in certain things. Now, he's a husband. He's a man of our home. That's different. But I'm talking about this relationship of routines, consistency, stuff like that. I need to be the one to set forth the plan. I need to be the one to have that relationship with myself and know that this is what I was created to be. And once I walk in my relationship with my assignment and what I'm created to be, then people around me can feel free to walk in their assignment and what they're created to be. So I just wanted to share that. Like I said, it was something I was going to share just with Alicia, but we're on live. So yeah, it was hold yourself consistent first, and then everything else will fall in line.
Look at God. Hallelujah. Won't God do it? Look, that takes a lot of pressure. I'm just a fighter.
Can I say something on that too?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's my other one. Come on, one.
You know how we do. Well, a couple of things. As I'm listening, when we talk about those relationships that start off like not exactly how you think they should go, and one thing that you teach in this community is pay attention to everything that crosses your path. So if God has put somebody on your path, we have this idea of what it's supposed to look like. And I'm talking to myself too, right? We have this idea of what it's supposed to look like because, and in that moment, we are kind of putting ourselves in the place of God, because if something cross our path and we say it's supposed to look like this, and then we think we know more. But when you are someone that say you're spirit led and you believe in God and God having things across your path, then you have to know that you can be being taught something different that's going to take you out. And if you're asking God to elevate you or even to take you into some newness, why do you think it's supposed to look the same? That's the first thing. And when you talk about being a leader, right? We all leaders, but you got to lead yourself first. That's the thing. We have to be self leaders, meaning getting to know who the truth of who we are and leading yourself first before you can start to look at other people in the external world of judgment or having a certain level of expectations with them. Not to say we shouldn't set expectations, because sometimes that's where we waver too, is not setting expectation and having that communication and conversation. But what I'm saying is when we have these and I'm again talking to myself as well, when we have these expectations of other people that we haven't set on ourselves, it's like lead yourself first, be a demonstration, and maybe then they'll follow, because people, we speak a lot of words, but how are we demonstrating is the question. So I just thank you for that, leader number one.
Amen. Oh, this was good. Oh my goodness. This is better than I thought it was going to be. I love it. I love it. I love it. Our leader's standing up. And look, they wait to the end. Ain't that something? They going to wait to the end of the call to speak. Ain't that something? Anyway. But once again, for those of you who will catch the replay, who are just jumping on, I am Alicia Johnson. My video is a little wonky, but I think you can hear me okay. I am the creator of the 1212 community, and the 1212 community is dedicated to helping everyone who chooses to learn how to recalibrate their lives, 12 hours for God, 12 hours for man. And we do that in a myriad of ways, but one being journaling. And that's what we are here today talking about, is our upcoming 30-day challenge, which begins tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't let the time scare you. Don't let it stop you, because the recordings are there. The recordings are there. The lessons are there. The most important part is that you get it, and that you use it, and that you apply it. Information without revelation is useless. Information with revelation without application is a special kind of stupid. So you want to make sure that you get the information that comes with powerful revelation and you apply it. And that is what our journal challenges are all about. So if you're interested in learning more about this upcoming challenge, don't wait. We start tomorrow, so you want to hit the ground running. Please text relationship to 301-301-8838. Feel free to share this out. It's so much fun to do this work in community, because you get to see that you're not alone. You are not alone. There are so many people dealing with similar things, maybe not the same thing, but we all are in this together. So I want to thank these ladies, like from the bottom of my heart. Like they just, putting their faces on, putting bras back on, like, girl, let me get back together. So y'all can go get comfortable again. Thank you for showing up for this work. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the powerful contributions that you have made today. And I'm sure that everyone received something powerful from each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Love you all. And I will see y'all in the morning. We will be on at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all go get yourselves together, get your naps, set your clocks, and I'll see y'all in the morning. Love you all. Have a good one.